Welcome everyone to my Honest Conversations. My today's guest in Honest Conversations is Marie Diamond. She is one of Mind Valley's authors, by the way, author of the Feng Shui course, a wonderful speaker, actually a coach to a lot of celebrities as far as I understand in Feng Shui, and you're a master in Feng Shui. Also, as I said, a wonderful speaker and a best-selling author. So Marie, I have to start straight away. How can you explain, how does this, because we're going to talk about Feng Shui. I have to talk about that.
Okay.
And, you know, I've lived in Asia for 16 years and a lot of people are very, are into this kind of things in Asia. But I also was born in Soviet Union, and I remember my physics teacher who was saying, whatever is not explained by physics does not exist. So Marie, how could you explain, how does this thing work? And believe me, I totally believe you and I always follow all your advices. But how could you explain, how does this thing work to a person who is essentially, well, with a skeptical background?
Yes. Well, thank you so much, first of all, to have me and to be with all of you. That's so amazing. And it's always a pleasure to be with you, Kristina. So Feng Shui means literally wind and water, and it's really an energy system. Yeah. So it's not an art, it's not a science, it is an energy system. And so you can kind of compare it in a way with acupuncture, right? With acupuncture, they do pressure or they do needles, and they recreate flow in the body of a person. And for thousands of years, they could not really see that there was an impact on this, because with our analytical mind, we cannot really see energy, we cannot really see flow of energy. But you know, the Chinese really have created this system, but they have created also an energy system for the home. How literally there's a flow of qi that is in our home. And so they're using, in a sense, colors and elements and materials to redirect the flow of energy and to create energy where there's less energy or where there's too much energy, to calm the energy down. So from a perspective of being able to, I would say, prove that, we cannot see the energy that is there, but we can feel it, right? So we all have places in our home or in our friend's home that we go there and we're like, oh, you're totally relaxed and you feel so wonderful there. And you don't want to leave. And because it has actually really good feng shui. And there are other areas where you're just like, I don't want to go back there. That restaurant is, no, the food is okay, but just the energy of the space is not good. Or that space in my home, I try to avoid that space. It's so cluttered. I don't want to go there. So from that perspective, we can feel it, right? And I think every woman knows when sometimes you like just want to do your environment, you want to paint, you want to color, you want to, you know, take it on, and because you feel something is not okay. Now, from the perspective of proof, we have seen that the Chinese have not only started really looking at the effect of acupuncture on the body and start proving that from an indirect perspective. Also, they have checked on feng shui. And so they have seen then when energy is good in feng shui, what feng shui masters would say is great feng shui, is that people, so they go from beta to alpha brainwaves within a few seconds, what is quite quick. They also would see that the blood pressure is not so high, that even the blood content is better. So when you live longer in a feng shui place, that your red blood cells are higher and your white blood cells are lower. So they have seen a change in sleep patterns. So directly, they cannot prove it. But indirectly, they have been able to prove it. And I always say, when something exists for thousands of years and people practice it for thousands of years, and people that start using feng shui, they keep using it all the time because they feel such a difference, that is in itself a proof also.
Mm-hmm. Thanks. I really love how you explain these things, because they sound very logical, and that actually helps to believe in that. I want to ask a little specific question. So maybe it comes from my background, but as I said, honest conversations are my show, so I have to use the chance. So I was born in the Soviet Union, as I said, and in Soviet Union, we were appointed departments. And I know it's a specific situation for me, but I'm sure that even in the West, there are cases where people don't have control over their living environment to the same degree. And also the money was an issue. You couldn't buy everything. Like even the furniture, we had to wait sometimes for a year to get the particular type, and then if they had enough production. So how can you practice Feng Shui if your environment, be it at home or at work, is really not very much under your control? When there are, let's say, either construction constraints, like when you are given a small space, or if you don't have enough money to deal with that or to invest into that, how can you practice Feng Shui in such circumstances?
Well, first of all, Feng Shui doesn't need a budget. So that's the first thing that I want to tell you. I call it Feng Shui on a small budget. It actually is all about how to set up the things that you already have. I mean, I started practicing Feng Shui in a very, very small studio where I was sleeping and living in a very small place. So, and it works each time if you're in a small studio, in one bedroom, it doesn't matter. So the first step is to always make sure that there is as much space as possible. So that means you have to declutter everything that you can. You cannot hold on to things. You have to create space for the future. So you have to let go of things from the past, books, papers, anything, photos that you feel, that's not me anymore. That's not what I want in the future anymore. So that's easy to do. You don't need any, you can do that in every place. The second part is a very important principle of Feng Shui is always to see the door. So I know you had to change that around, I remember, in your first, in an office. So when you are sitting on your sofa, or you're sitting on your desk, or you're sitting on your dining room area, make always sure, if you're the breadwinner, the one that is responsible for the family, that you see the door. So you, like right now, I can see the door from my eyesight, yeah, or in front of me, but you cannot have the door behind you. So redirecting your furniture, even if you don't have a lot of furniture, is quite simple to do, yeah. Mm-hmm. The third one is you have to also know that for everyone, based on your birthday, there is a personal direction, compass direction that works for you for success. So, you know, people can, of course, in the Feng Shui for Life, they have the all this information, Mind Valley, or they can go to my Mary Diamond app, who is totally for free. So there's no budget needed for that. And you can put in your birthday and your gender, and you will get a compass. And based on that compass, you literally can see what is your success direction. So I'm going to, so it looks like this, right? Mm-hmm. And so you will see the blue tip here shows success. So you will hold the compass in any room, if it's a studio, a room, a bedroom, or a larger room, and you will look at where is the success in that room located. What is there affects you nonstop for 24 hours a day. It will affect your imprint, your energy of success. So you can take away what you do feel is not about success. You can put books on success. We all have at least one book on success. If you're listening to your conversations, you have perhaps, you know, magazines or pictures of successful people. You can put gold looking items. We all have something gold looking, or even blue items are really good for success. So the practice that I created, the Feng Shui that I created, was about using what you have, right? Mm-hmm. Not to have to buy something, right? Because I started without a budget either, right? So I started using what I had. And, you know, if I want something blue, hey, I have a blue, something blue. I want a book about success. Hey, this is a book about success. So I put that there, and I create little, I call it little places. And it's like little acupuncture. So you start creating some energy flow in your area. And mm-hmm. And of course, you can go beyond that, but the basic Feng Shui is really something you don't need big budget for at all. You use what you have.
So I have two very small questions. One is, what was the name of that app once again?
Yes, it's a Murray Diamond app. It's on for Android or iPhones. You can find it. So it's Murray Diamond app, and you will see when you. It's about finding your energy number, and then people will get a compass. Yeah,
Mhm.
and so for each one, you will see there's a success, a health, a relationship, and a wisdom direction. So
Mhm.
you'll see. So this is like for energy number 7. And so you just start playing with that, and there's even messages in there, and every 5 days you get the next step.
Just for people who are listening to know, you know, when Vishen did the the energy number with Marie, he was running around with this app. He came into my office and he's like, "Oh, Kristina, you're sitting all wrong. You have to change." So he's changed my office, and I've been changing a few things here in the house based on one of the previous interviews with you, Marie. So so thank you for that. I do not know the results yet. I think they are there. I mean, there are some results. I do not know if it's directly related to my Feng Shui, but in my office, yes, after I changed the position, we started growing. So my second question, so this is not the door behind me. The door is right in front of me. These are cupboards. Are cupboard doors okay, or is it also a door and it's also not very good?
Oh, it is a door where you normally would walk in through the space, yeah, because the
Mhm.
cupboards are just, part of, your environment, but you don't come in through the cupboards into your space. So you become like a queen or a king when you face the door. And that's why I say all successful people are setting themselves up this way. They are seeing the door, they have some support behind them. In this way, it's cupboards, but that's fine, and you want to have space in front of you, right? So that people can sit on the other side of your desk. You can never have your desk against the wall, because literally you are hitting subconsciously a wall. So it
Mhm.
all is about that your home is, I call it, like a three-dimensional vision board. Yeah. So
Mhm.
everything around you gives you subconscious an imprint, a message. And the question is always what I'm asking, is this what you want in your life? So we want to change our mind, but the feng shui masters always say your environment is responsible for 1/3, that's 33% of the results of the law of attraction. As you know, I'm in The Secret, a master
Yeah.
teacher, and we talk about what you attract, but it's not just what you attract by thinking about it, by feeling about it, by what you do. Also, your environment is affecting your law of attraction.
Mhm. So one question like this: what are, because I'm sure when you walk around, you do notice the Feng Shui mistakes, because you consult a lot of people. What are the biggest mistakes people do in their homes?
Well, I think it's all the images that they place around them, So when, they want happiness, but they have chaotic images, or like, especially in the bedroom, that's a big mistake I always see, is that they don't think about romance in the bedroom. So they put images of single people. Sometimes it is literally, they want their children to thrive, but they still have everywhere baby pictures from them. So, and even if they're already teenagers, right? So it's like I always say to people, think about every image that is there. Is that what you want for your future? If you have a desert, or you have boats stuck in the harbor, or you have an image of something that is violent, think about, this is giving you subconsciously a message. So that's the first thing I always have to look at people, because they are not aware of that. And then sometimes their positioning, the way that they're facing or not facing the door, just by changing that around, people's life change completely. Because if you're with your back to the door, literally you're closing yourself off. If you're seeing the door, you're opening yourself up. People always experience at least 10% growth in their business, in their money level, in their relationships, by changing their feng shui. And I would say, 10% without doing that much, just changing your office or hanging something different, that's quite easy change.
That's true. So I was referring to changing something at home. After an interview with you, I got myself a picture of a very romantic couple dancing into my bedroom after what you said last time. Uh, Marie, I have this question. My parents love to collect art, and so do I, and I've collected art for quite a long time. So some of the pictures are more of an artistic value, like, you know, a cool artist or something which I like visually, but they're not always even. So some of them might be, you might say, sad. I don't have violent pictures, but theoretically you could have something which is not about your vision board. So how do you go about if art is a big part in your life and you do want to have it in your house, but it's not always part of your vision board?
Well, you know, I always say you have 4 directions that are really important for you. And so you can always make sure that when you put it in your environment, if this is not representing really something that is your health, or something is not really representing what romance is, you don't put it in your 4 good directions, and put it in the directions that are not so positive for you, because they will not affect you directly. And always, I say, you know, we have hallways, we have rooms where we do not spend so much time. So especially the living room, your bedroom, and your office, that's where you really need to focus on what you want to place. The other rooms, you're not there that much, so it's okay. And still, you know, art is very personal also, you know, so it's possible you look at something and you think, oh, I really feel so great about this. And I would look at it, I'm looking, I don't like it. That's why I'm teaching people always in the class how to really test out what is good for you or not, because it's also very personal.
Mm-hmm. So how do you test? You did mention muscle test, which is one of those mysterious things, but it works.
Yeah, so muscle testing is what they call kinesiology, and it's a scientific approach how, you know, when you get a stimulus from your mind, that your muscles will react to it or not. I mean, this is accepted by doctors as a method of checking out if your body likes something or not, or if your body is reacting to something. So you literally can do it for yourself. You can literally put your hands like this, you put your fingers together, and then you take your other index and thumb and you pull on it, right? So you put that like here. For example, you say your name, you know, my name is, and your name is Kristina, my name is Marie, and you pull on it and it doesn't open. It means, hey, this is good. If you say somebody else's name that is not your name, and you say, is this my name? And you will become weak. So your muscles cannot keep together. So they're not strong. So this is where, you know, people can look at an art and they're like, oh, would that be great in above my bedroom, right? And they look at it and they visualize this about their bedroom, and then they check and say, yeah, it's strong. So then I would say, yeah, it's strong. Your body likes it, your mind likes it, your heart likes it. So you can place it there. So this way, you can always check for yourself if something is good or not so good.
So does that mean that even in Feng Shui, although there are some principles, but it is very subjective. So what works for one person might be completely wrong for another person, and like,
yeah,
or
it is
there are
actually.
some. Mm-hmm.
There are principles and rules, but you know, as we are very individual, you know, we're not all clones from each other, right? So we are all born on a different day and different year, and so, for example, fire is red colors are always giving you a lot of recognition, a lot of passion. But for some people, I know you love red and you look amazing in red clothing, right? If I would wear red, I would not feel so great, because based on my individual chart of energy, red is not such a great color for me. It doesn't mean I will never wear it, but I don't have the tendency to wear it that much. White is definitely one of my colors. So it's not that it's not okay for you, it's just that it doesn't stimulate you that much. Yeah. And so we always want to find balance, because Feng Shui is ultimately about balance and harmony and peace. And so it doesn't mean that I will never wear it, but I will never wear it that much, because when I wear it, I feel not so great. So it's always about, where do you feel in balance and in a happy place?
Mm-hmm. And so, since you mentioned colors, is there other rules about colors in Feng Shui? Like, you know, my apartment is very light. Vishen's apartment is very dark. What's I know it's personal preferences, but still, are there any rules about that?
Well, you know, we have 5 elements in Feng Shui. And so Everybody feels different about it, but there are some colors that I always suggest in apartments. So I always suggest people to have some earth elements. And earth elements are beiges and browns, oranges, yellows, like warm rose, warm peach colors. But it doesn't mean everything has to be painted like this. It can also be a marble table, or it can be a crystal. Earth elements always give you, through colors, through materials, through symbols, through forms, always give you calm and peaceful energy. So we always want the 5 elements to be present. Yeah. So we always want something water energy, but it can be with colors, or you can put a fountain in. So you can something in metal that is white, or we have metal frames. We can put something in fire, can do reds, but we can put candles, right? So we can have wood, so we can do with browns and greens, or we can put plants. So the 5 elements can be represented in through color, form, symbolism, and materials. So it's all about bringing it in a perfect harmony, so that you come home and you feel like, I feel great here. And so that's always the feeling when you love being in your home and you're very productive in your home and you're very calm and peaceful and happy in your home. I think you have reached a good feng shui.
So is it that all 5 elements have to be present, or something can be dominant? Again, Vishen's apartment is a little more fun to discuss, because it has dominant wood, for example, and dark colors. Is it okay when something is dominating, or does the balance mean that all the elements have to be represented in a way equally, or are those the elements which are in communication with my element, which in my case would be fire, for example?
So yes, we want all the 5 elements to be present, but there will be an element that will be more dominant because it relates with you, right? But if you have children, then it's possible that their room have to have a different dominance, because they can be different, of course, right? And it also depends on the kind of house you have. So the house is always dominated by the front door, and depending on what is the direction of the front door, it will create a dominant experience of a certain element. So there's different layers of it, but most people do know when they're like, I always say, you don't want to be in your home, you're always outside of your home. When you come home and you don't do anything, you're lazy, you feel tired. When you're depressed when you come in your home or you stay there a longer time, then something is really off.
So how about the office? What can people do in the office? Or is it something which the entrepreneur has to take care of? Like, if I have 20 people working for me, I have to take care of all 20 of them are Feng Shui. So how about the wardrobe? You mentioned the colors that you wear and not, but is there anything... I know it's not typical Feng Shui, but are there any rules which actually govern what you have in your wardrobe?
And you can look actually at the app. You will see on the app there are some colors in your success direction that can actually affect you better. So you will also see me wear a lot of rose, because when I wear rose, it vibrates on my energy, right? But there are some general colors that work for everyone for the wardrobe. So if you want to be successful, wearing something blue will always affect your success, your status, your recognition. And if you want to attract more abundance, it's always good to wear something in gold looking. So like, even if it's, something, a bling bling around your neck. So something in gold will always attract an abundance feeling. But if you, for example, feel you want to make a statement and show you're energetic and passionate, you can wear something red, because that gives you more visibility and fame. So there are some colors that work for everyone that will give you some statements. I always say to people, don't go too much wearing all the time beiges and browns, because they're like neutral colors in a way. But add some colors to your wardrobe to make a statement.
Thank you for the color explanation. It's interesting. You know, so I just moved to Estonia and don't think it's a great country and everything is beautiful, but there is one little problem with Estonia. I think people are very pragmatical. So a lot of the things are black. And I was just joking yesterday as I was in the shop that a few years ago, I didn't have one black item of clothing in my wardrobe because I just wanted some variety and color. But now almost everything I own is turning black because that's what they sell in the shops. And of course, on the streets, you see the same picture. It's a little bit odd Feng Shui because all you see is are like those shadows moving around. These are actual people, but they're wearing black. So how is black from the point of Feng Shui, both in the environment and as an item of clothing that we wear?
Well, black is considered a water element. So we're actually, when water is great, so having something in black is not a problem. And we all like a beautiful black dress when we go out. But when we're wearing all the time black, we come into a state of yin energy. That means too passive. And so you see sometimes in very busy cities like New York, people will wear a lot of black because to counterbalance the very hectic energy there is, because it's so active. So to be able to survive that, they kind of go into black, right? But I always say to people, it's not a problem to wear black, but always try to wear at least something in color, especially around the heart. So like the first layer, under a black coat, for example, or a shawl, make sure that around the heart there's always some color, so that the heart doesn't become that dark energy, right? So, and it depends on, winter time and so on. Like here in France, in the winter, people wear all the time black coat, black vest, and I walk around with a white one,
So I got myself two winter, because now I moved to the cold country from warm country. I got myself two winter coats. One of them is bright red, and the other one is like, this. I don't even know, like this cream color, like my skin color in a way, a little bit browner than that, because I refuse to go into black. So Marie, I'm going to see what questions came in, because the way you're answering, I could take our conversation somewhere else, because you also talk about law of attraction and other interesting topics. But I want to check out the questions that came in. So because your practical advice is, I think, what's the most valuable, and it's not easy to get it. If you live with your partner, how is the best way to divide our directions according to our numbers? That's a question from Andrea.
So yes, so when you have a partner, it's possible that your partner has different directions. So we have 9 numbers. And so some numbers will connect in with what we call east, southeast, south, and north directions. And other numbers will connect with west, southwest, northwest, northeast. So different compass directions. So when you place something, always, let's say you put something in the south and that's good for you, right? Make sure you put an intention in it and say, this is for my success. And if you place something for your husband or your partner, you put something there and say, this is for, let's say, the health of my partner. So in a way that when you place something, there must always be an intention for who it is. So you can definitely bring them together. Now, I can imagine some people are saying, well, I try to, another part of Feng Shui is that we try to face the direction, right? Mm-hmm. So we try to face one of our good directions. And that is not always possible for everyone. Let's say you want to sleep towards a good direction for both of you, and then thinking, how do I have to just turn myself around and sleep with my head where his feet are or something? So in that case, no, of course not. So you always try to see what is possible also in the room, because in the room there is, sometimes only certain possibilities, right? That are okay for the room. But you always can activate a personal direction, like a success direction or health direction in a good way. And so, one of the things that, of course, they can check out on the website, marydiamond.com, there is a free energy report when they can click on. But again, they get more information, how it works with the app, so that you can have a little bit of solutions for when your partners are different.
Well, I guess also when you have children and the whole household of people, then there are a lot of demands on on feng shuiing the place. So
Right.
let me see with some more questions. Is placing a bed in the center of a window bad if feet are facing door entrance? That's a very interesting question, Marilu.
So what we see is that you can put it against the window, but you have to have really good curtains so you don't have moonlight coming on you, right? Because moonlight is considered to yin and is not positive for the energy. And so try to cover it very clearly. And I also share that, for the whole family, the children have to be really looking at the feng shui of their own bedroom, not to do the children in the whole living room. That would be a little bit too much. You just focus on the partners, right? So you focus in the master bedroom to the partners too, and in their own bedroom for the children.
Mm. So there is an interesting question. I probably won't read it out, but I'll paraphrase it. So R. Allen is asking. I actually can't tell if it's a woman or a man, but that person likes the studio apartment, has feng shuied it, but is feeling fatigue all the time. What's there to do against fatigue in feng shui? That's actually an interesting question because I have low blood pressure and I'm always, not always, I'm often very sluggish in the morning, particularly. I like to have my morning meetings in my bedroom to preserve energy. So is there any feng shui advice for the people who are either tired or like me, maybe low blood pressure people?
Well, when you have low blood pressure or you're fatigued, you have not enough fire. I think that's one of the reasons why you're tuning into fire, right? When you're putting clothes on or something. So make sure you have some red objects around you. For example, pillowcases or a red lamp in the morning, so that when you wake up, you see some red, because red always gives you a boost of energy. Yeah, sometimes it'd be too much for some people. Then I would say go for purple or orange. Yeah. Also, if you feel you're like in the morning, you feel like not so upbeat, then work with orange colors, because orange always gives like a little feeling of celebration and joy. So you can work with that. But it's possible that it's not so much to do with feng shui, but there is what we call dowsing issues. So when there is geopathic stress on the groundwater or there's too much electricity around you, so make sure that any electricity is away from your bed. So your alarm clock or your phone, put it away from your bed, and try to also put certain aromatic essential oils around you, like bergamot or vanilla or lavender, and spray a few of essential oils on your above your bed or above your pillow or on your pillow. You will see in the morning you will feel much more energized when you have a different smell at night.
Interesting. So since now you're in your daughter's room, did she ask you to feng shui her room?
Well,
Or
it's
does
not an
she...
ask, it is a must. No, but she knows her directions. So like you see literally her name there, that's her name, that's her
Yeah.
success direction. So she knows what her success direction is. And so then I give her the creativity to play with that. Yeah. So she knows where her wisdom direction is, and she's like, oh, this is what inspires me. She knows what her relationship direction is. So she made a little relationship corner with pictures of friends and little romance. So she knows what it is, but she can totally fill it in herself.
That's good. I'm going to, after we do the interview, I always do some changes. I'm definitely going to download the
The app.
compass. Yes,
Yeah.
the compass to see which places to strengthen. So how are you as a mom? Did your daughter actually have a phase in her life, and I know she's not a small girl anymore, she's actually quite grown up, did she have a phase where she would say, Mom, I am not interested, I don't believe what you do, I don't like what you do, or was she always a kid who actually like thought the same way?
Well, I have three children. So I have a son of 35 and son of 28 and a daughter of 17. So they all had this little moment in time where they were like, Mom, that's it, right? We're not doing this. But they all turned around because after a while, I just said to them, okay, go try it for 6 months. Go and see how your life is. And they all came back saying, can you please help me? This is going on, this is going on. So I give them the freedom because it's only then they always have lived in really good feng shui, and so I wanted them to experience what it is not. And so my older boys, right, they when they move, they're like the first thing they call like, Mom, can you please check if the feng shui is okay, because I don't want to buy it, don't want to rent it, so it's just because they experience what it is not, when it's not good, because they have always lived in something that was really good energy. So now they're totally convinced.
Mm. So how did you come to that? What pushed you? Because I don't think like Feng Shui was that famous in France before.
No, well, I'm born in Belgium, so I'm a Belgian
Oh,
from origin, right?
yeah.
And so I was 15, and I had a very bad accident at 15, where I was also declared dead, and I had near-death experience. But after that, I talked to my spiritual teacher that I already had, and I was asking him, why did I happen that accident? Because I was praying, I was meditating, I was practicing as much as I already knew from spirituality. And my teacher just said, Marie, it's nothing to do with spirituality or karma. You just had bad feng shui. And
Oh,
so he gave me the first steps in feng shui. I started practicing that, and my life started turning around completely. And so I kept practicing that till I was 31, and just basic principles, like literally basic things. And I just got, through college, got really beautiful degrees, got promotion after promotion. I became an international, very successful lawyer. And it's only then at 31 when, for the first time in my language, books came out about feng shui that I started studying really in depth. And
mm,
when I did that, I started going to Malaysia, actually, to Kuala Lumpur to work with my grandmaster in feng shui, and where I really learned in depth what feng shui was. And I started practicing it right away with my clients that I already had at the time as a consulting. And so I started adding it to my seminars on meditation, on law of attraction. And before I knew it, that was like one of my major directions in life.
oh, that's interesting. So how did it work with the children? I want to get back to that because I think it's a thing that a lot of us will relate, especially us in our niche. Did you just live by the rules of Feng Shui and law of attraction and just practice whatever there was to practice? Or did you actually actively try to teach your kids? Because what I'm asking is that I often get the question about how do you teach children meditation? How do you teach children intuition? So my question is, do you actually teach them as in sit down and I'll explain it to you? Or was it more along the lines, I live like this and you imitate me if you like, or you imitate someone else if you like?
Well, no, I think it was somewhere in between, I think, right? So I would say, look, this is your success direction. And, of course, my kids, they went to my seminars with me. So they kind of saw me on stage and saw me, practicing. And, but, they just saw each home I had, and I moved quite a bit in my life with my kids. So the first thing was like, okay, let's do feng shui. And so this is a success direction. What can we place there? Look at our images. So what do you think would be great? So I was like always bringing them into the game, right? It's kind of a game, for them, right? Or like, oh, I think I will do this color. What do you think? And then they're like, oh, we love it. Oh, I feel so good. How do you feel about it when we have that color? I feel good about that color, right? So it's always like a kind of a game energy for them when they grow up. Same with meditation. They would see me in meditation and like, oh, can I try this? Yeah, of course. Come and sit next to me. I will lead a meditation. So, it's all about offering it to them. Yeah. And not saying you must do things, right? The only time I'm really like into your must is like when their bedroom is a total clutter. I would come in and say, how do you feel lately in the bedroom? Like, oh, I don't feel so good. All this. I said, you know, decluttering would be helpful. I said, why don't you give it a try? And then if they don't give it a try, then I come in as a parent and said, that's it. You have a half hour to clean up.
Marie, I have this sentence in my brain right now. Feng Shui our living room. Get all your things out of here. Oh, you're messing up our Feng Shui, guys.
That's a really good one.
That's funny. So I'm going to look if there are any more questions, because I know there were questions coming in, but I have this habit of ignoring questions. Okay, I'll ask this one. I like this. I do not know if it's directly about Feng Shui, but probably. Best method to attract soulmate? Question from Joel.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that one.
What is the best way to attract a soulmate?
Oh, interesting. Well, I always say to people, make sure there's space for your soulmate. Yeah. Make sure there is, when you have a bed, there's space with 2 pillows, 2 nightstands, 2 lamps. Is there space in your closet? Is there space in your bathroom, for another person to come in? And then also write what I call the love letter to the universe, right? That's kind of what I did for myself, and we are 30 years together, so it's definitely working. Is that write to the universe, really, what do you want on all levels of your life, in your partner, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and then ask the universe also what you want this partner to like about you, right? For example, I had to find a partner that was totally okay with me being into all these wonderful topics, right? That he was okay, that I could see energy, and that I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to move to America. I wanted a partner that would like that about me. And then always the third aspect of love letter is describe the life you want together. And so that is kind of what I do, always write a love letter. And then when it's a beautiful sunny day, burn the letter around noon when the sun is shining, and send it off to the universe, and describe your soulmate, what your soulmate is about. And then activate your personal relationship direction. That is also on the app. Check it in your bedroom, make a little love altar with beautiful images, beautiful books, beautiful little hearts that kind of tell how you feel when you would meet your soulmate.
Thank you. Well, one thing for sure, guys, when we are done with this interview, we have to all download this app and figure out our directions, and then create little altars to love, to success, to health, to whatever else the directions there are. So let me see if there are any more questions, because we have a few more minutes. Interesting question. I'm looking to change my house shortly. Is there any particular direction that I should look for the front door facing? Wow, that's an interesting choice of a house. Yeah.
Well, no, this is actually how you should do it, right? So your front door, when you look at the app, you will see there are 4 directions that are good for you. Try to find a front door that faces that direction. So you would stand in the front door looking out, or if it's an apartment, looking into the hallway of the building, or if you have a house, looking into the garden, into the street. And your direction of your front door should be one of your 4 good directions. This way you already will have 11% more good luck in your life. So that is definitely something I would always encourage to do.
So when you are standing in your doorway, it's when you are exiting the house. That's the direction.
Exiting the house. Yes, correct.
Mm-hmm. It's I'm starting a project with the farmhouse that belonged to my family for many years, for hundreds of years, actually, on an island. Those people who follow me on Instagram would have seen my stories about that. And my dad, of course, was sharing a lot of stories about how that house evolved and how it was built. And as we were discussing with an architect, I've noticed that, in Estonia, in the old days, people had this interesting attitude towards how they position the house in relation to the way the sun rises and sets. sets? Where is the sun in the morning? Where is the sun in the evening? And a lot of the house actually are positioned in accordance to the way the sun moves. Also, the sun, of course, moves differently in winter and in summer, but still. Do you think that has anything to do with the similar origins as Feng Shui, or is it more just a practical need of people to see the sunshine?
No, that's actually the origin of Feng Shui. We call that landscape Feng Shui. So in China, they would always make sure that the front door would be towards the south, and that they would not have windows or doors towards the north, because the north had the colder winds. So they would always make sure the door opens towards the south, so there would be warmer wind coming in. And they would always make sure there would be some window to the left, to the east, but not too big, because there's still cold wind in the morning. And then they would have more windows towards the west, because it's still warmer evening wind. So they actually originally Feng Shui is based on this principle. And that's why I say, in everywhere in the world, people that are smart, they always follow the wind and the sun.
That's cool. Maybe I should look into Feng Shui before we build the new house there, so that I don't make any big mistakes. I don't think we have time for a lot more, because we only have 1 hour to spend. So I want to traditionally, and I have this tradition. Those who are listening for the first time, welcome to my traditions. I want to traditionally ask everybody who is right now in this live session to leave Marie a heart. In any form or color. You can leave a heart in the comments. That would be welcome. If you're going to be looking at this recording, then leave a heart in the comments of the recording. And this is a heart from me for you. Marie, thank you so much. I really love interviewing you.
I want to do that too, so just let me do this.
Oh, I've learned in Korea, they do hearts like this. This is a tiny mini heart.
Oh, yes, they do. They do. Yeah.
You can use just one hand if you need. So I always love interviewing Marie, also partially because I end up redoing my house after a while, but mostly because you are such a nice person, and I really enjoy talking to you, and I really enjoy interacting with you. So thank you so much. And I think it's the decades of good Feng Shui that have made you into such a wonderful person.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone, and see you soon. Bye.